Hi everyone, welcome to the Matrix Oracle. My name is Audrey. This is your astro forecast for Mercury retrograde, December 13th, 2023 to January 1st, 2024. So we have the master teacher, Mercury, of knowledge that wants to go in a review motion before we start 2024. The degrees that we're going to cover in terms of zodiac signs are the first degrees of Capricorn and the last degrees of Sagittarius. This is a lot of bringing the light of awareness, of consciousness, especially with the mind, with the Capricorn aspect, onto certain situations, events, and things that needs to be reviewed before we step into 2024. Now, the last degrees of Sagittarius, there's this energy of renewal, rejuvenation, restoration, youthfulness, retrieval. We've been mentioning about soul fragments, light retrieval, and especially with the new moon in Sagittarius just the day before the retrograde starts, there is this message for the next 28 days, so approaching and entering 2024, that we are going to retrieve some type of skill set, some type of gift, some type of, aspect of ourselves that we've dedicated ourselves to for lifetimes now. So some of you, just be ready for a lot of magic to come and manifest in your life. When I decide on what decks I pick, because I got many, and I donated many, so bear with me. I want to share first the collective message. So we're going to look at those cards for the collective message and pull some more. But after that, I'm going to invite you to have two options. Either you can look at your sun sign, okay, and look at whatever Mercury retrograde is planning and has in store for you, or you can look at the house in which Mercury is going to transit in your chart. So some of you, if you don't know how to do this, I will have a tutorial on my highlights for my Instagram page. All right, so let's do it. Let's start with this collective message. So first, let me share with you, when I clap my hands, which is something that I naturally do. I don't know where this habit comes from, but I felt the clap of a movie, where an action starts. And for me, I was wondering, it's like, well, what is that? Was I an actress in a past lifetime? But it was showing me that we've been rehearsing some of those stories again and again, and some of those skills. So it was like an opportunity, an opening for a new take on something that was really important to us, okay? And whatever that is, it's going to be revealed with that clarity that, Mercury in Capricorn in retrograde is going to bring, and then in Sagittarius. So first, let's start with this Shakti energy. Ooh, divine partnership here, Kundalini energy. It says here, Kundalini Shakti. Significant inner shifts are taking place. Energies are beginning to move in new ways. You may feel that resolution is hard to pin down at this time. Lean into unfamiliar territory with boldness tempered by patience. You will become capable of many things on many levels that you were not capable of accomplishing previously. You shall arise. A fresh path is signified. I love this. I got chills the whole way through. This is definitely something that your soul has been waiting for. Maybe you kind of put it aside, but it's being brought back. I'm hearing a little bit like sexy back coming on in my mind, okay? It could be that some of you are going through Kundalini activation or just Kundalini awakening, spiritual awakening through this phase. Now, with this combination of card, I have the Magician. So there's something about alchemy. When we review some type of past events, there's something as far as looking at the past, the present, and even the future in different ways. But it comes from a vibrational shift in the now. So this is where the Eight of Pentacles in reverse is speaking of. There's some type of chemistry, alchemy that wants to be reviewed. But remember what I said as far as shifting timelines, bringing something from the past. It's almost like you have to become a quantum traveler here. But everything happens in the now, and that means you're going to want to review some of the things that may be blocking you, not because it's permanent, but because it's just something to release so you can allow. Let's get some more details, and I feel that I want to kind of ask what we need to release most. Oh, grief. 9 of Swords. This is interesting because it's also, this energy is about grief, which is more connected to water element, but there's also the swords that is air. This is the line, if you know a little bit about astrology, this is the line of the horizon. This is the rising sign and the descending sign. And that means this is probably connected to relationships. This is probably connected to how you have processed or not processed yet, or not healed just yet, or in what depth, what level, certain occurrences that happened in the dynamics of relationships. At the details of this card, I was looking at the little cat consoling this woman, but I was also looking at the books, and I don't know if you can see, maybe here it's a little clearer, but it looked like a wheel, it looked like a compass, and this was my sign. It's like there might be something about your astrology chart. So some of you, again, you might want to also learn how to see where the transit of this Mercury in Capricorn and Sagittarius, okay, in retrograde, is going to affect your chart, because there might be some messages here. Or just having a keener awareness of the dynamic of your relationship with some people and how maybe you triggered each other in your chart. That's something that was really obvious to me, because since I'm a child, I can't forget birthdays. Is just imprinted, and a lot of those people that had certain specific birth dates, when I got into astrology, I realized that their sun were exactly activating planets in my chart, sometimes asteroid also, but mainly planets. And I was like, wow, that's so interesting that someone can be triggering such an importance in my life, because they brought the sun. The sun is the conscious awareness. So whether it's a short time that you spend with this dynamic relationship, it does not matter. They can last for a long time because there was a lesson here. So I feel that some of you, there's something about this knowledge that could be purposeful for you at this time. Oh, I'm called to pick this instead, for as far as what we can expect to receive. There is this new birth, rebirth that is felt. Could be that energy more of the Sagittarius when Mercury is in retrograde, and this more of Capricorn, because we're talking about the relationship, bringing light on it. I mentioned to you the sun from another person could activate your energy in your chart. And the Sagittarius last degrees are speaking of this youthful energy that wants to come back. And the message here says, no matter what you have done and no matter how many mistakes you have made, the goddess is here for you always. Yours is the safety and sanctuary of her divine love. She is your soft place to fall and your kindest and most enthusiastic advocate. Let her shift your experience from endless tasks and ever greater expectations into sweet relief and comforting connection. There's going to be a shift in connections, and wow, that's so exciting, because it feels that the way we're going to relate to the self, the way we're thinking, the way we're perceiving is going to totally shift our relationship dynamic, our point of attraction. Now, I'm inviting you to look at your sun sign or the house in which Mercury retrograde is going to transit in your chart. All right, let's do it. Clap. Aries, or house number 1. How is this transit going to affect you? Let's see. we're going to pull some cards here. Wow, wow, wow. I love, love, love. And let me pull some more. Up, okay. Up and up. Let me see if you can see them. Yeah. All right, perfect. So, first, let me explain to you. I like to always pull cards with the mind and the heart and the coherence. Okay, so there's in the middle already the Death card. So if you have this Mercury retrograde in your first house or you're a sun sign Aries, there is some major ego shift, personality death. This is coming from the Eight of Wands. There's some type of realization of the communication with this tornado effect. So let's go into the mind. The mind here shows the King of Pentacles with the Five of Wands. So I feel that for you, house number 1 or Aries, there is the desire to have your cake and eat it too, to be settled, to finally receive what you deserve and what you've worked for. But what you need to do, because this is kind of the way that I like to do this is, you saw the mind, the heart, the coherence, and then there's the reflection, there's the mirror effect. This is where you are, and this is what reflected to you, the things that you don't know. So maybe the sun, the moon, the conscious, the subconscious. See that there was probably some type of gossipy energy with the Five of Swords. You see, there's a lot of conflicts. Now, remember, this is the mind, and remember, others are just a reflection of what could be going on inside. So you may have had a lot of conflicting beliefs, dissonant desires, and that means that you're going to want to review this through this period of time, Aries or house 1, because this is how you're going to have your cake and eat it too. This is how you're going to finally feel successful. And I feel especially there's a sense of stability and security, arrival energy that you've been trying to get to that feels important. But there was a lot of things that you may have thought of that are just in opposition. It shows that you've gone through a lot. I wouldn't be surprised you had to overcome a lot of darkness, and you've shown the universe that you have the strength, that you have the determination. Because remember here, there's this sense of really wanting to achieve some security, some stability for your house number 1, and retrieval of some of your potential. And there's a resonance here between the things that may be needed for your heart and mind to be in coherence, and it's on the side of the heart, so that means the feminine. The feminine, the dark, the hidden is going to help you. Now, the Wheel of Fortune came in reverse. I feel that it's about, this is interesting because my finger just went on that sun position. So some of you, if you're being to really know what you have in your chart, what you have in your stars, and maybe look also at the relationship dynamic that I shared with you, you could have had some of the people that you were in conflict with that were shining their sun on your chart in certain placements that needed to be part of your ascension process, your enlightenment, your understanding of certain topics. And things are going to shift through this review, because the Wheel in Fortune in the reverse, it felt like there was a hold off for you, Aries or house number 1, and we're shifting that in the upright because you just needed to get to that lesson. You needed to get to that understanding so you could finally be in a place where you're comfortable with the unknown now. Taurus or house number 2 for this Mercury retrograde transit. Let me explain to you. We have here on the right the mind, on the left the heart, and the coherence in the middle, or what I like to call it the chemistry. So how they balance each other, how they merge with one another. In the center we have the Hermit. So if you have Taurus as a sun sign, or it's going through your second house, this is definitely a time where you want to spend this period of time, December 13th to the 1st, where you allow yourself enough hermit time, a time where you can review a little bit of what's going on around you, because you have a lot of interesting energies. In the mind, you have the Seven of Wands that speaks of outside circumstances that feel that they're kind of constricting you, they're limiting you. There's some belief about feeling limited. On the heart side, the feminine shows you with the Seven of Swords. Interesting, double seven. So some of you, if you have that as a lucky number, that would be also a synchronicity for you to remember that you are unlimited. Because I feel that the feminine energy through this period of time is going to show you how maybe some of your beliefs that you have towards your capabilities and what is available for you to achieve is going to reveal to you that you may have been mistaken on some of your perception of the self. So let's look at what is underneath. This is more of the conscious self. This is more of the subconscious. What are you not seeing here, Taurus, or house number 2? We have the Ace of Wands under the Seven of Wands. So there's some awakening as far as your potential, some gift, some skill. So this is interesting because I was looking at the little cat here and it's black and white merged. There's the fire. It reminds me of what I used to do called the burning protocol. It's kind of like writing on a piece of paper something or an energy or a release of a relationship, everything negative that this event, this relationship made you feel, and burn that paper and then rewrite what type of energy you would want. Not necessarily from the relationship, but what you want to replace instead of all this, negative feelings. So that could be something of interest. Now, I would also burn the positive, and I'll tell you what, because to me, just the feeling, the writing, I didn't want any attachment to paper and to things that were written. They were just felt and released. Remember, I have a popular reel about this. Release what needs to be released in order to receive what is meant to be received. And this is exactly what we're seeing. Once you realize that maybe you limited yourself according to maybe how a relationship dynamic made you feel about yourself, and you kind of took it upon as a truth. Maybe I'm not this, or I'm not capable of this. Or even if it's like, I don't want to believe it, but you're still in conflict with it. And that means like you are saying you're believing that you're capable, but at the same time, you're still entertaining this conflict. And that means you're holding both as truth in your field. So realize that for you, this is a very powerful message that you need to release that conflict, especially it seems mental and how it affected your actions with the wands. So you can have a renewal, this new phase of your life with a higher gift that comes forward. House number 3, or the sign of Gemini. This is the conscious self, this is the subconscious, this is the coherence, the mind, and the heart. So at the center, I love this because this card flew, and it's the Ace of Cups. There's more love that wants to come forward when you're going to go through this reviewing of events, okay? As far as the mind, there's some things that need to be destructured. There's definitely in the subconscious some type of ego death. There might have been strong held beliefs as far as what you deserved in matters of relationships or love overall. But you see, in the subconscious, I feel that maybe there was some type of feeling, just a couple of words are coming, targeted, cursed, or, it has always happened, a little bit victim mentality. There might have been unprocessed, unhealed experiences with dynamics and relationships. And it has left you with the Nine of Wands, maybe wounded in terms of your heart. There is a renewal of the heart that wants to come forward so you can receive more. So you can, love is a frequency that will give you access to abundance, to prosperity, to everything that you want. But you see underneath, there is some Seven of Swords, there is some lies and something that, here I'm hearing the word escape. almost like maybe some of you are feeling like someone got away with murder or someone did you wrong. But I feel that here this is almost the energy of God's rejection was God's protection. You just have to heal your heart here as far as how you perceived those things and those events. I would definitely suggest working on your boundaries, especially if you're an empath. Maybe there's just weaker boundaries in terms of saying no, people pleasing, habits that you haven't realized that allow people to influence you, even vibrationally, just you absorbing and picking up on other people's frequency. And you need to come from a place where your frequency is dictating your reality, and that's the work for you, Gemini, and house number 3 for this Mercury retrograde. Cancer, or house number 4, we have here the conscious mind and here the subconscious. In the middle, the coherence between the mind and the heart. So let's look at those 3 cards. The coherence here suggests with the 4 of Pentacles that we have something on our heart that is weighing. And it is the Knight of Swords. So there's some type of relationship also to time with any knights in the tarot. So it's something that has been maybe going on in your mind for a while, as far as some type of untruth of how lovable you are, how deserving you are of a relationship. There's something about, maybe how you talk to yourself about love. Maybe there's conflicts between what you say you want in a relationship and what you hold true as far as relationships. So now, Cancer, house number 4, this is a common thing that happens, okay? We don't always fully process some past relationships, some past hurts, some past things that have occurred in life, and that leaves us kind of conflicted within our own selves, within our heart. Now, in the subconscious, there is some type of awakening with the Queen of Wands. You see, there's a part of you that is very fierce, that wants to blow this fire, this burn away all that is in the way of your goddess energy, and awaken that in you, especially through the process in the heart space of meditation and merging and balancing your yin yang. Okay, this is the Hierophant. You want to come in coherence between what you say about love, what you say you are deserving of, what you believe and hold as true. Especially with the mind, we had the Lovers that were reversed, but we also had the 9 of Cups, which is a card of fulfillment, that was reversed. Are you maybe also relying too much on others in order to have that fulfillment? We want to make sure that we're allowing ourselves to find first this inner union that comes between the merge of the feminine and the masculine for you, Cancer. And especially this Mercury retrograde is going to support this process so you can feel more open to greater things for 2020. Leo, or house number 5 for this Mercury transit. You have some very interesting energy. This is the conscious mind, this is the subconscious. A lot of reversal. In the center, we have the coherence between the mind on the right and the heart on the left. We have the 10 of Swords. So this Mercury retrograde is going to definitely end some type of cycle that was taking away your power. There is the Strength. This is your card, okay? Especially watching this for Leo. There was some situation that was robbing you of your power. Now realize that, again, our relationships are also a reflection of how we feel and what type of attraction is going on between our mind and heart inside ourselves. The mind aspect, we have the 7 of Swords paired with the 7 of Wands in the subconscious that was reversed. So there's definitely some type of boundary breach here, and maybe some type of pattern to let others, come first because you don't want to ruffle feathers, even though you have this Leo energy. There might be some past experiences that allowed you, maybe you had a rough childhood or trauma, that you don't want to kind of get into conflicts and avoid this. And this type of avoidance of conflicts is making you really feeling separated because you're not being true to yourself. And in the subconscious of the heart, we have the Two of Swords that is like, you have to identify this pattern so you can get out of it. Now, I do feel that for some of you, it might be about a relationship in specific or a choice. There's definitely the choice of choosing yourself first. That seems very important for you to find that new dawn. This is the first time that I pay attention to this in the card. I just am mind blown every time. I'm like, where did that come from? This little cardinal red bird that is looking the sun rise or set. But there's this energy of renewal, of you finding more light, more strength, and ending a cycle maybe where you were not able to put yourself first. So thanks to this Mercury retrograde. Virgo, or house number 6 for this Mercury retrograde transit. All of your cards are reversed. What happened? Okay, and I'm going to tell you what happened. So first, conscious mind on top, subconscious in the bottom. In the center, we have the coherence between the mind and the heart. So first, the whole topic is here, consciously, the Ace of Cups in reverse. Your cup is not full. It's getting empty. And that means there's something about love, self-care that needs to be attended to, especially with the world in reverse. I don't know if there's some type of like comparison. Oh my God, sorry for my accent. This is where you know I'm French. Where it feels like something is emptying you. We know that the house number 6 in Virgo is all about health. And here it seems that maybe there's just too much focus outside the world here. Maybe too much comparison of where people are in their life, what's going on, where's my share, especially with the mind that has the 10 of Pentacles in reverse. So there's something about stability, there's something about house, there's something about maybe kids, and we have the Queen of Cups in the reverse. And it's indicating that there's some type of almost energy that is cutting you off of your heart, some type of sadness that comes and that needs to be reviewed. It's like, why are you doing this to yourself? We're going to put this upright because we're not letting you stew in this energy, okay? But we're going to have to review why this is happening. So very interestingly, and that's the first time that I actually consciously noticed this, when I put those cards upright for you, there's almost more insight that came forward as far as your deservingness, your focus. There's a flip of the coin. There's almost like, yes, the focus, instead of being on the glass being half empty, needs to be focused on the glass being half full. This is all about perception. Remember, this is the purpose, especially with Mercury and going in retrograde, trying to fix something in terms of your mindset, but here also with the heart. There is the Knight of Wands. So the Knight of Wands is the fastest knight. This is, all knights are related to time. So some of you, maybe there's a pressure with time. There's a pressure to always want to get things done now, or it's not paying off fast enough. Now, let's look at what's going on in the subconscious as far as that impatience. This is the 5 of Pentacles. 5 of Pentacles is usually a card that's really highlighting, feeling rejected, victim mentality. And that would stem from looking at things from the perception of your trauma. So for you, house number 6, Virgo, definitely go into my empath survival kit as far as working with the psoas frequency, going into the heart and womb recalibration and coherence. Some of you, if you're members, you can have access to much more frequencies in terms of this type of work. The quantum fascia healing is also accessible, but it feels that it's a trauma response that needs to be addressed. And this is something that is really going to shift how you look at yourself and how you look at things, putting a roof on top of your head. And when I did this on my head, I really felt almost like, a father or mother figure petting or protecting. There's this energy also of the understanding of God's rejection being God's protection. So whatever you felt maybe is, escaped you, or you're missing out on things in life, this is going to be reversed, because you're going to start understanding that maybe your pressure to achieve things is maybe because you want to prove something maybe to your parents or to others, but is it really because you love what you do, or is it because you try to prove and get validation for your worth, or even just your existence? Hey Libra, or house number 7, this is the conscious aspect of your cards, the subconscious, the heart coherence and mind coherence with the mind and heart. So when I'm looking at this and I was observing, I have an upright here, which is where it all starts, and it starts with the Hierophant, a merge between a feminine and masculine that is well balanced, that is blessed, okay? And it seems that this is where we have to start everything with, because otherwise things here on the mind and the heart, they're kind of blocked. We have the Tower in reverse, so the illumination or the destructuring or mental pattern is being blocked, and we have the Death card that is reversed. So we are not moving, we're not breaking through here. That's something that is dominant. So I was like, okay, well, great. How do we get out of there? So the way in and out, so through, is to address that 3 of Swords that's in the coherence. So there's definitely here some past grief. It could be especially relationships. There might be something that we have a hard time to let go of that really feels like it pierced our heart. But once we do identify what hurts us, okay, and it can come from even relationship with your parents, or relationship with, at work, co-workers, or your boss, but it could be intimate as well. Once you're able to flip that, okay, and understand, that's going to require meditation. You're going to feel what is in dissonance and hurts your heart. There's going to be an activation for both your mind and heart. You're going to be able to have a greater vision of what you truly want. And this is almost like fast paced, because this is the Knight of Wands. This, as soon as you can identify, and that could be a process through this whole Mercury retrograde that you have to go through, where you're like, okay, this relationship, it hurt me in this way. And right away, it's like your mind, once it knows, fast-paced energy is going to give you the vision, the comprehension, the knowing, the feelings. So in the feminine, in the heart, you start seeing like what is truly grounded in truth and what is not. And when you can address that first in your subconscious, then we can start moving those energy very swiftly, as far as recognizing, no, my heart is, my heart is elastic. It can renew itself again and again. I don't have to hold this mindset, and I can shift it. So I find this interesting for you, Libra, because it feels that the only thing you really need, or house number 7, is to sit yourself down and feel what ails you, and feel what hurts your heart or has hurt your heart. And once you just put your focus on it in a meditative place, I'm not talking about like neurotically thinking about it, okay, or rehearsing the negativity of how it feels, but more like, okay, well, this is what is the picture that it's depicting. Do I want to feel like that forever? No. How can I shift this? Your perception. So again, you know me, you guys, this is where I suggest that you would go into my frequency playlist. I would suggest yin and yang, definitely. You have to rebalance both, know which one is in excess, which one is in deficit, so you can just shift this and have a total different perception through this Mercury retrograde. House number 8, or Scorpio sun sign. This is here your conscious self, your subconscious self, the heart-mind coherence in the center, the mind on the right, the left you have the heart. This extra card came up as a clarification. I love it. It literally flew. So consciously here, what we see, I always start with the center. How is the balance between heart and mind? Because if we're off balance, then, well, we are in contradiction or opposition with manifesting what we want. Okay, so we have here the Seven of Wands in reverse. This is all about boundaries. So it's inviting you, Scorpio or 8th house transits for this Mercury, to make sure that you have proper boundaries in terms of your energy, time, and space. Some of you, you know that I like to work with frequencies, so you might want to review and intuitively go into some of those, even though you'll have some recommendations here. Now let's look at those cards closer, and I was going to say clearer, which is interesting because there's this huge sun energy, but it's setting. This is the Ten of Swords. This is in the mindset. There's an ending of how you were thinking about yourself, and maybe it left your heart really grieved. Maybe it made you feel, very lonely. There might have been some loneliness, feeling that people are targeting at you or just against you. There was a lot of energy, especially with the Scorpio. This is a lot of shadows, and we're getting to a point where we're going to have proper boundaries that are going to come through this phase. And this is a sunset and this is a sunrise. So there's a new dawn that's coming for you. But how do we manifest that? We need to look at the subconscious. Now, looking at the subconscious in and under this Seven of Wands energy, we have the Hangman in reverse. So usually this one has a halo, and that would mean there's some illumination. You want to spend time meditating, especially with the Hangman. That is a pause invitation. So that means when you're getting triggered, pause, my little Scorpio, okay, or house number 8 if you're transiting there and visiting the Scorpio energy. Pause yourself and kind of look at what's going on, because your mind here with the Four of Wands is going to show you. It's almost like you're being trained with this Mercury retrograde, trained to review your old triggers and where you used to lack boundaries. And here with the heart, we have the Wheel of Fortune that is reversed and the Nine of Wands that was reversed. So interestingly, when I saw that right away, I thought of my playlist, Chiron, the Wounded Healer. And then this card flew together almost, and it's the Wounded Healer with the Nine of Wands. Okay, so there's some maybe karma that needs to be purged. There's some interesting points in your charts that are being activated. Maybe you also have, this Mercury transit that is activating your Chiron. Could be, okay, so some of you, that could be something as far as starting to look into more astrology. But definitely in terms of the frequencies, go into that playlist and rebalance some of the things that used to be your old triggers, because you're moving on from this, and then your fortune can come. You can finally heal from those wounds, and you don't have to feel that everything is against you. You're transcending this energy, Scorpio. Sagittarius or house number 9 for this Mercury retrograde. First of all, like when it happens when I do personal reading, you guys, it's like when I'm channeling an energy, I sometimes have to interrupt, do different things. I had to change my chair. I was feeling too low. It was giving me a pain in my shoulder. Then I had to eat a little snack so I can have some energy. And I was like, okay, what's that all about? So there was some type of energy as far as comfort, as far as finding more comfort or more in alignment with your authentic self and truth. So here, this is definitely speaking of you changing and having change, or going through a change. This period of time is going to change you. When I was looking at the card, there was this energy of the caduceus that came up. It reminded me a little bit of maybe a message with Virgo. So some of you, maybe you have something that is being triggered in your house number 6. There could be something with your health that is changing. In the heart, we have the Devil. And in the mind, we have the Queen of Pentacles. So when I had to stick with this for a while, okay, when I was like munching on my oatmeal and stuff. I was like, what's going on here? Taking my time. And I thought this was also with the message, with the wheel, that can speed up a little bit things and make them pick up. I feel that maybe in the past there was some type of habit of maybe jumping to conclusion, okay? Because we have in the mind, we have the Queen of Pentacles in reverse. So there's kind of this shrewd energy, it's more closed off. And then in the heart, there was like this temptation to think about, and what I heard, because I was like, I had to spend some time with this, okay? Which like left me like almost like open to a different perception than maybe my first impression, okay? This is where the jumping in conclusion came up. And it spoke of distraction. It felt that you have to watch out for this period of time, not to let the craziness of the holidays or whatever, or even of this energy. Because if I'm not mistaken, yes, there's a lot of planets in your sign, zodiac sign. We're talking about this and we see watch being distracted, not going after what you want, maybe not paying attention to your health, to your comfort. For me, it's almost like if I had to continue reading for the 12 zodiac signs and I had not changed my chair or I had not eaten, I probably would have become a hangry baby, okay? And not realize that it could affect my perception of my experience. So there's some type of shift in your own awareness of what brings you comfort and stability and security. So then your heart is able to reveal to you a little bit differently what this phase wants to teach you. What's interesting is that what wants to be taught is in the subconscious and it's in the heart field. So it's almost as if you don't change those little subtle details of the conscious mind, you're not able to tap into your sacred feminine and hidden dark feminine energy that is wild and wants to open up to you some of those aspects. And here, like I started looking at the scrolls. Some of you, there's like some type of download of ancient knowledge, your gift. Remember, this is kind of the activation of that new moon in Sagittarius. Oh, there we go. I knew it was going to make sense. But it's almost as if like you have to slow down just like I did and observe and then let yourself follow the unknown. So it might feel uncomfortable if you're just brand new to this process, but this is definitely the sacred feminine energy for you here. Let's look at what the subconscious mind aspect has. It's the Eight of Cups in reverse. So there's some emotional pattern that needs to be removed. And again, remember what I just said with the angry, hangry baby. It's almost like you have to be in a position where you know what's right or not right for yourself. And that means maybe especially with the Wheel of Fortune, you'll go faster if you take more breaks. If maybe you have like a lot that you want to accomplish and it's like overwhelming you, but it's showing if you take it bit by bit and you stay focused, don't let yourself be distracted, but at the same time distract or interrupt a little bit the flow so you can regenerate yourself. Go in nature, take a walk, okay? There's here in the coherence the Three of Wands in reverse, so it's blocking your magic. Now that you've heard all of this, your magic is going to increase. So there's an increase. Now that you're seeing this, there's an increase of self-mastery, of knowledge about your own levels of comfort and security, what you need to feel that queen empowered energy. It can be king as well. But making those choices, almost like this card also could tempt you like, well, maybe you could make more money if you work harder. No, this is more about working smarter, and that's what your feminine wants to teach you. Sagittarius, or house number 9. Capricorn, or house number 10. So I had to stay with this a little bit because all of your cards are reversed. And I stayed with it, and right away I needed to put some frequency music. I used the Aura Strengthener and Cleanser. And let me show you, this is the top, this is your conscious mind, and the bottom, your subconscious. In the center, your heart-mind coherence, mind-heart. Now, I always look at this first card in the middle, and it's the Eight of Wands reversed. I had to stay with this. I had to really stay with this because it felt as if there could be so many ways to look at things, and it was confusing, and I needed more clarity. And the more that I tapped into this, I started looking at the stripes, the purple stripes, and how everything was here. So with the purple and the tornado, I felt that there was some underactive, or it could be overactive, but especially underactive crown activation. And I'll tell you why I feel more underactive, because this is also a card that speaks of communication, and communication that can be with the divine. And on the mind, we have the Empress in reverse, okay? And the Ten of Wands in reverse. So this was showing me that the divine wants to support you, Capricorn, or house number 10. But there's a resistance to it. So this is the conscious self. There's probably some of you, and I felt it, so I'm going to mention it. It could be related to children, whether it's your children or you wanting children, or something as far as work that you want to birth and it's heavy. There's some block. In order to unlock the conscious mind, we need to go into the subconscious. So underneath this card of communication, we have the Three of Cups that was reversed, okay? And that's a card that I often get even for myself when I am in presence of my spirit guides. There's something about realizing that you're not on this journey by yourself, that some of you might need some support, and that means go meditate. Maybe some of you need some support with a reading, but it's about you tapping into your ancestors, your ancestry. Maybe there was something about the last full moon that you haven't received and grasped, because just when I'm channeling this, we're going to have this new moon, but it seems that everything got blocked. So maybe there was some event that wasn't processed and you didn't receive that insight. So the way that I can see this, it could be that maybe there was an expectation of communication, a phone call, an expectation of a project being birthed at a certain time, or something to manifest with a certain deadline, that I feel that the universe is showing you, that could have been on different frequency and wavelength. Okay, so let's look at what the mind has in the subconscious. We have the Page of Pentacles in the reverse. There was a new direction. There was maybe something that needed to be directed, shifted in terms of, there was maybe some type of tower moment that was avoided, or something that wasn't faced, okay? But it's something that is going to help you destructure a mental pattern that is blocking. My best advice for this, especially to shift this energy, is to tap more into your heart and what it makes you feel, what everything here makes you feel like, and maybe not project on the other people involved in the situation, and more look at what it triggers in you and get some growth. Definitely, especially remember, there's going to be some degrees that are covered in the sign of Capricorn in retrograde. So there's some invitation here that to move on to the next level, especially entering 2024, so you can feel successful, so you can feel, I heard on top of the world. So that's a big jump from all reverse to this. So this is how fast this can be. If you take the time to, it seems that there's some ancestral lineage involvement here, maybe something you haven't realized. Okay, so when I took the pause to dive deeper and especially put those cards upright, there's always such an immediate shift that occurs when I do this. I don't know if people feel it as well, but I do. And I looked at the time and it was 11:44. So that could be something that you want to remember for this period of time, December 13th to January 1st, where 11s or triple ones and triple fours or 44 is a signal of you maybe having to shift this or shift a perspective, because what I saw here is the dolphins. And the dolphins, I can't remember what animal deck it was, but that's where my head jumped to. And it was like saying on this card, this and that is true. Like, this is true and this is true too. That used to piss me off. When I'm looking at this and I'm tapping into it, maybe there's a conflict, maybe there's some like being frustrated, being angry about a certain situation, whether it's with others or it's just a project, a frustration. There's almost like a call for you to take the responsibility, Capricorn or Mercury retrograde transiting in your 10th house, for your own joy. Because this and that could be true. You're the villain in anyone's story. You're the hero in your own story. And you're in charge of that perception. And is it weighing on you and not allowing you to birth something new? So it's like you have to allow yourself to shift how you feel, because it's in the heart, about the situation, so you can finally progress and move on. Aquarius or house 11. So this is the conscious mind, the subconscious in the center, the heart, mind coherence, mind, heart. It starts all with the energy of the Four of Cups. Something missing, something lacking, some type of imbalance. I stayed with this a little bit, and what I felt overall for you was a message about mental health and emotional health. Emotional intelligence, mental intelligence, bringing some type of balance, especially because the only card that was reversed is the Justice card, which is a major arcana, in the mind, the subconscious mind, the conscious mind. Yes, but let's see what we have, the conscious, subconscious. What is going on? Aquarius or house 11. You got me so freaking confused, and I know what it means, thankfully, but it did not feel good, okay? This felt like acting out or living life by default. Living life by not knowing that you are a creator and a powerful being, and just going by and letting things unfold without really intentionally grasping your own power, especially here with the card of the sun. I don't know why my light is making the sun not yellow. It's making it gray. Yo. Okay, so all the colors are gone. This is really interesting because it made me also feel that maybe some of you have seasonal depression. Okay, this could be something that you want to pay attention to and, address it and bring some conscious habits and routine that make you start your day from a place of joy and gratitude. I would definitely suggest for you, especially as I'm seeing the thing that's missing here is really weighing on you, to check out my Chiron Wounded Healer playlist. Look at your Chiron placement and go rebalance those frequencies. All the mantras that I'm using are gratitude mantra. Believe me, gratitude is my placement for my Chiron, okay? There was a lot of block for me to receive this energy because I had to process a lot of trauma. So I feel that for you, there's some message as well. When I shared this with you, I right away felt some reaction as if I was scared to hurt your feelings because there was a perception that people are judging you. There's some imbalance definitely as far as past interactions that need to be shifted. On the time, I was seeing that the phase where the retrograde is going to be in Sagittarius, so more towards the end of that retrograde, is going to really help you more of that soul retrieval. Definitely also, that's one of the frequency. There might be some experiences that you haven't shined the light of awareness and consciousness that is blocking your healing, so you can freaking take a load off. Okay, so once we have that going on, I feel better now. I couldn't move on. Realize that the house 11 in Aquarius is a lot of energy that relates to others, to social networks. So some of you might be just even like being on social media or having all eyes on you or no eyes on you. But there's something about how it makes you feel. So just try to spend more time with this energy and reflect on it, because once now that you heard the message, okay, there is so much support from your ancestors, from your spirit guides, from your team, from this moon phase that wants to come forward to rebalance the scales of justice. But there is definitely something that is draining your energy. There's not enough light. This may be a perception that is more black or white, too much polarity, duality that is not supporting you to feel uplifted. As far as you starting to do this and allowing yourself to receive advice and not taking it as judgment or opinions, and kind of just allowing yourself to know that you can be supported by others, you can attract this type of relationship. There's going to be a shift in your heart that is going to really start to attract more people. I'm sorry, this card is not changing colors because it seems that the white halo that I have is shining. That's the light I have behind is just taking it away. This is very strange, but I feel that when I said that, just don't compare yourself to others, because you are divine, you are sacred, you're an angel, you're an earth angel, you're a light worker, you have those abilities, and don't dissociate, don't just compare. This is a great phase for you to retrieve that power and have this full acknowledgement. House number 12, or Pisces sun sign, we have the conscious self, the subconscious self, the heart-mind coherence, mind-heart. Okay, so in the center, we have the Knight of Cups in reversed. There is some type of, why did I hear missing in action? Maybe there's something that is meant for you to do, okay? And especially, it feels like a doing by being more, because there is the Six of Pentacles in reverse in the heart. As if there's something here that needs to be rebalanced. That needs to be rebalanced in order for you to achieve that, I'm hearing, success mindset. It feels like this is something important for you if you have Mercury retrograde transiting in your 12th house, or if you have a Sun Pisces. I shifted the cards upright as far as the one that were reversed, and right away there's a difference, and there's an energy that spoke to me, and that was showing that you needed to allow yourself more time for yourself, versus by yourself thinking you're lonely and taking that solitude, that time where you can actually allow divine intelligence to come forward, especially as underneath the Knight of Cups. So this fulfillment energy, this balance, so you can be on the frequency of being successful in love, in career, in anything you want, health, wealth. There is the Four of Cups here. And when I said health and wealth, I thought of my playlist, Your Auric Health and Wealth. Definitely some frequencies for you, especially with the key. It's as if, especially with the tools here, and you even have this little fishing that shows that there's maybe a predator, danger, or not allowing yourself to feel maybe the vibration of others that influence you, maybe by procrastinating or delaying. Because maybe some of you, if you're a strong empath, those people and those relationship dynamics, they're benefiting from the old version of you. But that means also you could also have this aspect where you're scared to take the leap of faith, because underneath the Six of Pentacles, we have the Justice card. And this card can sometimes have this very strong energy, and especially with the Six of Pentacles that were reversed, it's as if maybe some of you are trying not to see the truth of maybe some imbalance It feels that maybe your overly empathetic energy is trying to focus more on, you know, the innocence of this aspect instead of seeing the version that's more old and maybe has different intention. I feel that it could be also narcissistic residue as far as your dynamics, and it's time to claim back some of your powers. So soul fragments retrieval, definitely. Auric health and wealth is a playlist, and yeah, that's what I'm feeling mostly. There's the strength card in reverse in the mind, because remember what I said, it's almost like that procrastination, that delaying. Maybe some people could say like you're lazy, or why aren't you doing it? It's almost as if something was keeping you. It doesn't have to be a person, it's just a habit. Now when I said habit, and I had to sit with it, because I'm like, what? Okay, Audrey, maybe some of you, there's some type of addiction that needs to be overcome, okay? Because we're in the house of the subconscious, the hidden, and it could be some addictive pattern that keeps you from attuning to that frequency where really we're seeing, once the cards are upright, you're going to really see how whatever habit of behaving, thinking, or if it's a physical habit, was taking away your power. But it's as if this transit, this specific time with whatever support that we're receiving right now was meant for you to have that extra support. You know, this is actually the blessings from astrology, is that sometimes we have those added supportive cosmic energy. It feels that even if some of you felt like you've tried, and I've tried my best and I still didn't do it, or you know, there's a relapse, if there is a substance recovery here, there's something here with the cosmos that is supportive in greater ways, but you have to will it. You have to know it first. And now you're happening to listen to this. So that's probably one great support. And that means also, as a rebalancing with the scales, allow yourself to receive more from the universe. Stop giving too much away of your power with this energy in the 12th house, in the subconscious. And if you have a Pisces sun, there's definitely more that wants to come forward. There's a cup waiting for you to be served, but it's going to probably shift once this retrograde is over and entering 2024.